It's been such a pleasure being here. A very special place and special people with us. We're going to start with the 3 invocations. We're going to all chant them together, no leading, 3 times in a row. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. Om Shri 3 times. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshvatyai Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. One more time. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sarasvatyai Namaha. Om Namo Gurave Namaha. Let's feel that for a moment. So we're going to echo the 3 invocations, and I thought instead of having 3 or 4 people echo me, why don't we all echo at the same time? So we're all going to do it. So I'm going to go like Om Shri, and then everybody's going to go Om Shri. And then I'll go Ganeshaya, and everybody will go Ganeshaya. We're going to go right through all 3 invocations in that way, just to echo it. And meanwhile, we have this incredible rain. Guruji used to refer to it as Devo Varshite, the gods are crying, and considered a very auspicious thing for it to rain. And we feel that. All right, ready? Om Shri, Om Shri Ganeshaya, Ganeshaya Namaha.
Namah.
Om Shri,
Om Shri
Sarasvatyai
Sarasvatyai
Namaha.
Namah.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha.
Namah.
Om Namo
Om Namo
Gurave
Gurave
Namaha.
Namah. So this morning we are going to do a combination of a number of different things. And we're going to start with another verse from Kiratesśvara Shiva Stotram. This is the first verse. So I will tell just a tiny bit of the story. In this is Mahākāvya. Poet is Bhāravi. And it is the story of the Pandavas are needing some more weapons in order to defeat their enemies, the Kauravas. Yeah. So in this story, Arjuna has gone to do tapasya in a forest. And he is praying for the aid of Shiva himself to give them some aid that they can prevail in this upcoming struggle. And I don't remember if it was a boar or a deer, but as he is living in the forest, he is living off the land, he shoots some animal. And there's another forest dweller who shows up also to claim the body of this either deer or boar. And they become in conflict over whose body this is, and while he is fighting with the forest dweller, he sees a flower that he offered to Shiva in his morning prayers. And he realizes that who is before him is Lord Shiva himself. So that is where this poem comes into the story. And we have been doing the end of the poem, the end of the stotra, where it is Shiva in the elements. This is, excuse me, the one how it begins. And there's another verse from the Devi Mahatmyam that is very similar in tone, which we will do another day. But let us start with this one. Sorry, little throat issue. Sharanam bhavantamati karunikam. Sharanam bhavantamati karunikam. Bhava bhakti gamyam adhigamya jana. Bhava bhakti gamyam adhigamya jana. Jita mrityavo jita bhavanti bhaye. Jita mrityavo jita bhavanti bhaye. Sasura surasya jagata sharanam. Sasura surasya jagata sharanam. Together. Sharanam bhavantamati karunikam. Bhava bhakti gamyam adhigamya jana. Jita mrityavo jita bhavanti bhaye. Sasura surasya jagata sharanam. Actually, I will take Bharati's offering, I think, would be wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, so this is path to walk on, you could say. So it is talking about people who go to Shiva. So jana, people, having gone to Shiva, and what is, oops, small typo here. What is path to go to Shiva? Here it is bhakti gamyam, he who can be gone to or achieved through devotion. Now we will be doing a verse later this morning from Atma Bodha, which is one of the wonderful books our Guru left us. Atma Bodha is all the path of knowledge. So there's many paths. You have to see what is your nature, what is your prakriti, and for some of us it is what is your need on a given day, what path you reach for. But there are many ways to go. This verse, just one adjective of what is the nature of Shiva, is he who can be approached through devotion. And what is other nature of Shiva? It is ati karunikam, profoundly compassionate. And what happens, O Shiva, bhava, bhava is a very interesting word because it comes from the verb bhu, to be, and many verses we have done this weekend, bhava is sansara. It is the world of being and becoming. And it is something we are trying to escape from. It is also name of Shiva. Just you are existence. So you have to know by context what is meaning. Here it is very clearly, O Shiva, those who go to you, who are so profoundly compassionate, not just karunikam, ati karunikam, beyond compassionate. What is their fate? They become jita mrityava. those who have conquered death, does not mean conquering death in this body. It means going beyond cycle of birth and death. And then you see also this poet who plays on words so much. Ajita is form of address to Shiva. O you who are not conquered. So he's playing with the word to conquer. Actually, he's playing with the past passive participle. These poets can do anything with words. So, O Ajita, you who are not conquered, those who go to you, they become those who have conquered death. And then, I like this last pada very much because it speaks to what Karuna was doing this morning, and also another nice verse in Devi Mahatmyam. We will take another day, has same meaning. So after these people conquer death, what do? They don't live happily ever after. They don't just fade into enlightenment. They themselves become Jagata Sharanam. They become shelter for the world. And when do they become shelter for the world? Bhaye, in time of fear. So this is a little bit too familiar to us right now. We are living in what the Chinese call interesting times. So we have need to find this within ourselves in this time, that this Shiva is always there. And we can do this for ourselves, and we can do it for others in the world. So we do not meditate for ourselves alone. We meditate so that we create that energy, that we are ourselves little bit sharanam for the rest of the world. Sometimes it's just as simple as you're walking down the street and you smile at someone, and their day is a little bit better because you smiled at them. But you have to take care of yourself so you have that smile to offer. But it is very beautiful poetry. Sasura surasya, that is, there's many adjectives that go with what is the nature of the universe. A very frequent one is moving and unmoving. This is gods or demons. So within gods or demons, humans are included somewhere. So these people, they become themselves sharanam, shelter for the world. Let us do together. Sharanam
bhavantam adhikarunikam bhava bhakti gamyam adhigamya jana jita britya modita bhavanti bhaye sasura surasya jagata sharanam surasya jagata sharanam.
In the Devi Mahatmyam, the line is Tvam ashrita, those who take shelter in you, hyashrayatam prayanti. They go to the state of themselves being support. Same idea. Very nice. So, we are going to do many different programs, and Shanta will take us to our next one.
What is that?
Headsets?
Yeah, sure.
Or quote.
Oh, quote, yes.
Where is feedback coming? Do you think he should not hold eyeglasses in the same hand as...
Too much to juggle what to do. So we've been hearing quotes all weekend. Bharati was reading from much of Guruji's work. I loved how she read from the part where Guruji said how important Sanskrit was. And I think that's a magnificent little introduction to this work that we're doing this weekend, feeling this electromagnetic energy in us. And I was just thinking the sound of the rain, the sound of the nadam, it's nature and nadam are all one. Our son Krishna came to visit out of a surprise yesterday, and he said he was walking around the lake with the dog twice and they ran into a wolf. Fox. I don't know the difference between the two. And the fox just stared at them. And they were amazed because normally the dog would run after anything. And he just didn't even notice. They kept walking. And the next time they came around, this is nature working, the next time they came around the lake again, Little went to that very same spot where the fox was. And urinated, but nonetheless, he had to do something.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read a quote from Guruji's Fundamentals of Yoga, which is just one quote after the next. Where can you stop? The universe is governed by eternal laws that never fail. And this nadam is in us, it never fails, it's always there for us. These eternal laws are governed by the suggestion of primordial consciousness. This suggestion is operating in every being, living or non-living, at all times, in all places, in all experiences, and in all stages of nature, whether it is phenomenon or noumenon, manifested or unmanifested. Therefore, it is extremely necessary that the student of yoga have an understanding of these laws. Page 34, the very beginning. And Guruji's whole book is about taking the steps of all these laws. And he requests you not to go on to the next chapter until you feel a little bit comfortable with what you just read, which I find to be impossible, but anyway. Pardon? Yeah, the very beginning of, chapter 2. The very first paragraph in chapter 2.
And the title is The Power of Suggestion, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi.
So, everybody has a headset. Inside these headsets, we have a magnetic resonance chip that produces the sound of nadam. So I thought we should bring it and we can all enjoy it. But first we're gonna do this in stages here. First we're gonna shake out the hands. And remember that if you have any problem with your arms or your hands or your wrists, you can just sit and feel. But we're gonna shake our hands out. And just give them a really good shake. Just let it go. And then at a comfortable distance, just let the palms face each other, unmoving, achala. With the palms not moving, just feel what's there. And now keeping the left palm still, slowly, like in slow motion, move the right palm toward the left, and then slowly away. And just play with that movement. See what's going on there. And then keeping the right palm still, move the left palm slowly toward and away. This is the electromagnetic energy that manifests from the nadam. It's the nadam in the sense of feeling. Then when you want to change and just move both palms toward and away from each other for a minute, just let it go. So we've shaken out the hands, causing the blood to rush to our palms. The palms contain so many nerve endings, bringing the prana in the blood to our palms and fingers to feel this electromagnetic energy which exists in every single cell of the body. So as we become more and more comfortable feeling this energy, after a while you can you can make the whole body electromagnetic. Entirely, the entire body. And that will take you on to another level of something. So next we're going to put the headsets on, but we're just going to sit for a moment and listen to what's there. And then after we do that, sit for a minute with the headsets on, then we're going to do the hands with the headsets on. So we're going to combine the sound that you might hear of the nadam in your ears. Remember that cricket, thousands of crickets? Oh, Jayshree, did you get one? Yeah, we have plenty. They're at both doors. More than enough. I think mostly everybody has, but there's plenty.
And for friends at home?
Oh, thank you. And for friends at home who are online, you can simply cover your ears to get the same effect. The thing I like about the headsets is that you can relax your hands and not worry about keeping them on your ears, because I think, remember, we want to also feel that sense of electromagnetic energy in the hands. Either way is fine. And if these are too tight, then use your hands, whatever works. And they adjust a little bit. So let's put them on for 1 minute. And then at some point, if you can't hear because it's so much nadam sound, I'll give you a sign. Bharati was asking for a sign. When are we starting? I'll do this, and we're going to start chanting. We'll just chant the three. No chanting, forget it. We're just going to feel, we're going to do the hands and feel the hands and listen to the sound. And now, leaving the headset on, let's shake out the hands. And then do the palms however you feel comfortable. And while you're feeling the palms, the energy between the palms, keep an ear out for the sound. And then let's take the headsets off and just sit for a moment quietly. And continue to feel the electromagnetic energy between the palms that's still there and the sound in the ears, whatever you hear. And let the sound of the rain just wash the whole program completely. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Would anybody like to give any feedback at all? Anything? No force to do so, but just we always like to take a moment to see if there's any response to anything. Yes, sir. Oh, wait 1 minute. Harish, can you give him a mic? We need to hear you.
When we were with Yogananda, we had the Om technique where we closed the tragai. Yogananda famously said, God gave us lids for the eyes, but he gave us the tragai to close the ears. So we were sitting in this particular position where closing the eyes and the tragai, and listening to the right side for the astral sound of the Om. And he said, incredible things can be achieved by that technique. I don't know about that, but that's what he said.
Yeah, thank you. And Guruji writes about this in Fundamentals. Also talks about Tratakam. We may or may not get to Tratakam. Talks about Tratakam and the colors of the electromagnetic energy in the visual field. It's quite amazing. Thank you. Anything can come out. And everything that comes, and I was reading from Guruji's book this morning, the thoughts, the ideas, your impressions, your writing, it all comes from the electromagnetic energy. And the more we can feel it, the more we can have it affect us. Yeah.
What I felt was I didn't want to take off the headsets. I wanted to stay there.
So if you have headsets at home, and these are not that comfortable, but if you have them at home, put them on with no music, 5 minutes, no harm. Better music than if the music that you want to listen to on the headset. And the music that you would listen to comes from the Nadam anyway. Yeah.
No, we have the crystal embedded.
In us.
Yeah. This is just
yeah.
a lot of crystals.
And I, as a contractor, I would be in our shop using the table saw, which got to such an incredible frequency, it started vibrating the nadam in me. And after a while, our son Krishna said, "Dad, you should have a chair so that you can work at the table saw, but then go sit down because you want to continue listening to that sound." And I did. Eventually, I brought a chair in, and it was a little bit of electromagnetic machinery, a little sitting down with the electromagnetic nadam. It's quite special.
So the next 2 programs are some what I would call bouncy mantras and the washing machine of the mind. So I think let's do a little bit of bouncy mantras and then more verbs and nouns, and maybe look at what they look like in sentences. But just to keep warming us up this morning, let's see. Guruji used to do really nice commentary on Nadam and Krishna and the flute. And I don't remember specifically what text it was most associated with. But this is the closest I could find. And Bharati said same thing, Vanshi. So Vansha is, among other things, flute. And this is salutations to he who has the flute. You may have done this in this ashram. Some of you have probably done this, Achyutashtakam. It is a stotra to Vishnu, and what's sort of sweet is many of the verses go back and forth evenly between Rama and Krishna. It's like you can have one discussion of one, and then the next pada has the other. So let's do a few of these verses. These are, for those of you who've been doing meters with us, you have noticed that some of the meters that are what I call bouncy meters, they repeat the same pattern of longs and shorts. So this is all regular, this is not arya where you're doing syllabic instance. This is number of syllables, which I didn't actually count. I think it might be 12, but anybody can count per pada what it is. But yeah, part of the reason I picked these, I wanted some reference with flute, but as you'll see, I just took 3. They also are great examples of poets playing with repetition of sounds, which is a key feature of many Sanskrit poets. Vishnave Jishnave Shankine Chakrine
Vishnave Jishnave Shankine Chakrine
Rukmini Ragine Janaki Janaye
Rukmini Ragine Janaki Janaye
Vallavi Vallabhayarchitayatmane
Vallavi Vallabhayarchitatmane
Kansavidvansine Vanshine Te Namah
Kansavidvansine Vanshine Te Namah.
I think I have lost my normal tune, but this tune I think is all right also.
Mm-hmm.
I apologize if I change tunes in the middle. Happens sometimes. Vishnave, Jishnave,
You want
together.
everybody?
Vishnave, Jishnave, Shankine, Chakrine,
Rukmini Ragine Janaki Janaye Vallavi Vallabhayarchitayatmane Kansavidvansine Vanshine Te Namah.
So one big sentence here, and it is all just Te Namah, salutations to you. So everything else is, who are you? Salutations to Vishnu, who is always conquering. So Vishnave, the word Vishnu comes from all-pervading. So it is name of deity, but also has that idea of pervading. So to you who are all-pervading, who are victorious, who has a conch and a chakra, who is the beloved of Rukmini, so this is going to Krishna, Janaki Janaye, and husband of Janaki, so that is Rama incarnation. Vallavi Vallabhaya, so beloved of the gopis, Architayatmane, that self which is worshipped, destroyer of Kansa, and he who has the flute. So where does this nadam come from? Any way you like to image, but you can think, if you are a Krishna devotee, you can feel the flute within you. And I'm going to see if the other tune comes back. This one, see if I can get Devanagari and English both together. All right.
English more important.
English, yeah, apologies. The program just did something very odd, and I think if I try to fix it, worse things may happen, so. All right, possible chain of tune, I'm not sure. Rakshasak shobhita sitaya shobhito
Rakshasa Kshobhita Sitaya Shobhito
Dandakaranya bhupunyata karana
Dandakaranya Bhupunyata Karana
Lakshmane Nandito Vanarai Sevito
Lakshmane Nanvito Vanarai Sevito
Gastya Sampujito Raghava Patumam
Gasya Sampujito Raghava Patumam
Together.
Rakshasa Kshobhita Sitaya Shobhito Dandakaranya Bhupunyata Karana Lakshmane Nanvito Vanarai Sevito Gasya Sampujito Raghava Patumam.
This is all Rama. So he who by whom the Rakshasas are disturbed, you could say the disturber of Rakshasas. And he is Shobhita, shining and resplendent, Sitaya, with Sita. And he is, this is long compound, this second pada. So Dandaka is the forest that Rama was exiled to. Aranya just means forest. And Punya is auspiciousness. There's another word. Bharati, what is Punya? Merit. Merit is good. Yeah, Punya. Thank you. We will go with merit. Okay. Okay. Punarapi navadishyami. So, punyata, so merit, meritorious, good energy. He is the cause of good energy in this forest. But I want you to look at, you have nya, aranya. Everybody pronounce aranya.
Aranya.
And then punya.
Punya.
So everywhere the sounds are repeated. And certainly in the first line, I think we're going to echo this. We should echo this one or the next one. We will let you all vote. Lakshmane Nanvito.
Lakshmane Nanvito.
He is followed by Lakshmana. He is going in this forest with Lakshmana. And he is served by monkeys. Vanarai Sevito.
Vanarai Sevito.
And then this is Sandhi here, Sevita Agastya. So to make the next one make sense, you have to put back the a. Maybe I can put it with a parenthesis. A. Agastya Sampujita. Agastya Sampujita. So he is worshipped by this sage. Raghava Patumam.
Raghava Patumam.
May that Lord of the Raghus protect me. So it is very simple Sanskrit. It is just that the sounds are beautiful. So you could say, if you made one sentence out of it, you could say, may Rama protect me. But you get the energy from the sounds and the images. So this next one is the one I was referring to that brings in electricity, because it is vidyut. So who knows what vidyut is generally? Lightning, yeah. So it is lightning, but what do we have? Gurji did wonderful commentaries on electricity.
He would say that even your ice needs electricity, because if you pull the plug on the refrigerator, your ice will melt. It's very interesting.
Fire. So here we have it bottled in our wires, And this is just lovely image again of Vishnu. Vidyududyotavat, vidyududyotavat, praspuradvasasam,
Prasfuradvasasam
pravridam bodhavat,
Pravridam bodhavat
prolasan vingraham,
Prolasan vingraham
Vanyaya malaya,
Vanyaya malaya
Shobhitorasthalam,
Shobhitorasthalam
Lohitam gridvayam,
Lohitam vidvrayam
Varijaksham bhaje,
Varijaksham bhaje
Together.
Vidyudyotavat prasfuradvasasam pravridam bodhavat pralalad vigraham Vanyaya malaya shobhitorasthalam Lohitangridvayam varijaksham bhaje.
There may be one or two typos here. This should be Anuswara. Now, I'm going to invite the group to, I remember this one should be here, yeah. We want to do some echoing with this so that you can feel the way the syllables bounce around. So this verse or the previous verse? Somebody vote. Some few people vote. This one. Okay. So I am going to ask, I don't think if we put people on the mic and we just walk it around.
It's too much.
All right. Shanta says it's too
Let's
much.
just have everybody echo each one all at the same time.
Well, no, I want to also do one by one.
Then go
I
ahead.
didn't do that yet today. So I need 4 volunteers. All right, Susan. Second volunteer. Jayashri. All right. Susan, Jayashri, Sybil. Sybil and Kami. Okay, wonderful.
So how are
So-
they going to be heard?
So they are going to just chant with good energy.
Really loud.
Yeah.
But
So-
the thing is, you have to be prepared to take your turn, otherwise you break the train,
Right. So
and the
we're
train doesn't move.
going in order again. It is going to be.
Who's
Susan
leading?
Yeah,
Who's leading?
I am leading.
So Indira, then Susan,
Then
Jayashri,
Jayashri and
Sybil.
Sybil and Kami.
So you have to
Right,
be
so
ready to go.
We are actually going around the room, so we're vibrating the whole room.
Should be like lightning.
Vidyududyotavat. Vidyud. Sorry. I have my own habit of teaching on Zoom. I'm always joining in. Sorry. One more time. Vidyududyotavat.
Smaller pieces.
Praspurad. Vasasam. Pravrid. Ambhodavat. Prolasad. Vingraham. Vanyaya. Oh.
You go first, not last.
You may have to poke me.
Yeah.
Malaya. Shobhitora. Sthalam. Lohitangri. Dvayam. Varijaksham. Bhaje. That was nice.
I loved how it went.
Yeah.
Just happened to be across the room from each other each time.
We made some sort of a mandala. Yeah. And I realized I didn't do meaning, so let me briefly do a little bit of meaning. This is wonderful imagery of the contrast of the dark body of Vishnu or Krishna. I think this should be Krishna. And what is his body looking like? His second pada. So Vigraha is body, and it is shining dark like a rain cloud in the rainy season. One of things lovely about Sanskrit, there's many words for water, and anything that gives water is a cloud. So ambha, ambhas is one word for water, and giving water like, and pravrit is rainy season. So beautiful dark body. And then the lightning comes in with he is wearing the bright yellow clothes. So his clothes are shining like lightning flashing. And that is how he looks. And then third pada, he has Shobhita, we had in other verse, means shining or resplendent, beautiful. Urastalam, sthala is surface of anything. And ura is chest. So surface of the chest is used often just for chest. Urastalam. And what is his urastalam? It is so beautiful because of a mala. And what kind of mala? It is a wild mala. So vanyaya, we have vanam for forest, and this is vanya mala, forest flowers. So beautiful imagery of Krishna, and he has the pair of beautiful feet, which I think Lohita, I'm remembering, I didn't look up, I think it is color reddish, something like that. Mm-hmm. And so nice. Another word for water, vari. And if you add ja to anything with water, anything born out of water is assumed to be lotus. So vari jaksham is lotus-eyed. And bhaje, I worship. So this was so nice, you guys taking all the pieces. And you can take on your own all of these pieces and keep repeating. Let's do this one together. Om Vidyududyotavat
rasam pravridam bodhavat prolasad vigraham vanyayamalaya shobhitorastalam lohitam gridvayam varijaksham bhaje lohitam gridvayam varijaksham bhaje. Om.
So any mantra we take is washing machine of the mind. And also any verb we take is washing machine of the mind. Question?
Could you say this was a verse to Vishnu?
You know, to me it is a little bit more Krishna. Well, anybody else can have different opinion here. This whole stotra, it's Achyuta is the name of the stotra, and Chu is verb to fall. Achyuta is he who does not fall. So it's name of Vishnu. What is nature of God? Not falling. And this is, as I said, it goes back and forth between Rama images and Krishna images. This one, I think you could have either be, it looks a little bit more like Vishnu on account of the yellow clothing, but I don't know enough to say that Krishna imagery cannot be very much that same bright yellow. So I think the answer is I don't know. Yeah. It is the same energy, yeah. So we are worshiping, but I've always loved this one because, we could do the verb. We could do dyotate. That would be fun. So vidyut, the prefix vi can do all kinds of things, but the original verb is dyotate. So he is playing with the sounds here all over, but he is, in this case, it's all coming from this verb to shine. So what is the nature of lightning? It shines. And it's one of the many, many reasons to come to Ananda Ashram, at least for those of us who are now in California, because sometimes you get such good lightning here. When we were here a few years ago, there was sheet lightning. And sheet lightning with the trees as backdrop. This. But and today we have rain. So we have lightning's best friend. So we're going to move things around a little bit to do some verb chanting and maybe some noun chanting. Mm-hmm. We had promised to do masculine today, mm-hmm. and I don't know that we actually...
We have.
We have? Okay,
mm-hmm.
Good. We have to respect all our genders, including neuter. And especially, I was thinking we should do leaves.
What first?
Let's do verbs, dyotate. And we may not be able to do the future without somebody having book 2 or knowing by heart whether it takes E or not.
Or Bharati can advise.
But we are not nama, yeah.
Right, sorry.
So, I think it should be Dyotishyate, but yes? Yeah, okay, sadhu.
Where's stick?
Yashtika kutrasyat. But we can do without stick.
Stick is nice.
In that corner, to the right. I didn't see it.
So, there are many tenses in Sanskrit, but in our Guru's tradition, we emphasize more these, at least to get our feet wet. And these are enough to
Good
create a
find.
great deal
Thank
of
you.
good energy. So we are going to, wonderful. Dyut, to shine. It should be first conjugation, the U changes to O, so it becomes dyotate. No. Dyotate, dyotete, dyotante. Dyotate, dyotete, dyotante. Dyotase, dyotete, dyotadve. Dyotase, dyotete, dyotadve. Dyote, dyotave, dyotame. Dyote, dyotave, dyotame. Adyotata, adyotetam, adyotanta. Adyotata, adyotetam, adyotanta. Adyotata, adyotetam, adyotadvam. Adyotata, adyotetam, adyotadvam. Adyote, adyotavihi, adyotamihi. Adyote, adyotavihi, adyotamihi. Let us shine. Dyotatam, dyotetam, dyotantam. Dyotatam, dyotetam, dyotantam. Dyotasva, dyotetam, dyotadvam. Dyotasva, dyotetam, dyotadvam. Dyotai, dyotavai, dyotamai. Dyotai, dyotavai, dyotamai. Dyoteta, dyoteatam, dyoteran. Dyoteta, dyoteatam, dyoteran. Dyoteta, dyoteatam, dyotedvam. Dyoteta, dyoteatam, dyotedvam. Dyotea, dyotevihi, dyotemehi. Dyotea, dyotevihi, dyotemehi. And here we are adding E, and when we add E, the dental sa becomes cerebral sha. Dyotishyate, dyotishyete, dyotishyante. Dyotishyate, dyotishyete, dyotishyante. Dyotishyase, dyotishyete, dyotishyadve. Dyotishyase, dyotishyete, dyotishyadve. Dyotishye, dyotishyave, dyotishyame. Dyotishye, dyotishyave, dyotishyame.
These are not verb endings. This is electromagnetic energy. So if you're worried about, oh my God, it's grammar, it's not grammar.
All right, let us do, Guruji would play with time and space, so sometimes we did things a little bit differently. Let us do the plural. They all shine. Dyotante, you, tante, you all shine. Dyotadve, we do together, yeah? I will say meaning and then we chant together. So, starting over again. They all shine. Dyotante, you all shine. Dyotadve, we all shine. Dyotame, they all shone. We put the a in front here. Adyotanta, you all shone. Adyotadvam, we all shone. Adyotamihi, let them shine. Dyotantam, let you all shine. Dyotadvam, let us all shine. Dyotamahai, and they should shine. Dyoteran, you all. Dyotedvam, we all. Dyotemehi, they all will shine. Dyotishyante, you all. Dyotishyadve, we all. Dyotishyame.
Let's feel that for a moment.
Om Shanti. I am going to propose pat to fall. We could actually, well, what do you think the leaves have been doing lately? They've been falling. The other thing they've been doing is flying. Don't you think? Mm-hmm. The wind catches them and they don't go straight down, they go across the ground. So let's do both. Pat is parasmaipada. Patati, patata, patanti. Patati, patata, patanti. Patasi, patata, patata. Patasi, patata, patata. Patami, patava, patama. Patami, patava, patama. And with a in front. Apatat, apatatam, apatan. Apatat, apatatam, apatan. Apata, apatatam, apatata. Apata, apatatam, apatata. Apatam, apatava, apatama. Apatam, apatava, apatama. Let them fall. Patatu, patatat, patatam, patantu. Patatu, patatat, patatam, patantu. Pata, patatat, patatam, patata. Pata, patatat, patatam, patata. Patani, patava, patama. Patani, patava, patama. They should fall. Patet, patetam, pateyu. Patet, patetam, pateyu. Pate, patetam, pateta. Pate, patetam, pateta. Pateyam, pateva, patema. Pateyam, pateva, patema. And with an E, we are again changing this sa to sha. Patishyati, patishyata, patishyanti. Patishyati, patishyata, patishyanti. Patishyasi, patishyata, patishyata. Patishyasi, patishyata, patishyata. Patishyami, patishyava, patishyama. Patishyami, patishyava, patishyama. Let us do from the beginning all together. Patati, patata, patanti, patasi, patata, patata. Patami, patava, patama. Apatat, apatatam, apatan. Apata, apatatam, apatata. Apatam, apatava, apatama. Patatu, patatat, patatam, patantu. Pata, patatat, patatam, patata. Patani, patava, patama. Patet, patetam, pateyu. Patet, pateyam, pateta. Pateyam, pateva, patema. Patishyati, patishyata, patishyanti. Patishyasi, patishyata, patishyata. Patishyami, patishyava, patishyama. Om. One moment silence. So, if we are thinking about these leaves flying, because they do. We have the verb di. And di is, if everybody takes their tongue and curls it back a little bit, pronounce di.
D.
It is not aspirate cerebral da, and it is should be fourth conjugation because it becomes diate. Diate, diete, diante.
Diate, diete, diante.
Diase, diete, diadve.
Diase, diete, diadve.
Die, diave, diame.
Die, diave, diame.
And they flew. Adiyata, adietam, adiyanta.
Adiyata, adietam, adiyanta.
Adiyata, adietam, adiyadvam.
Adiyata, adietam, adiyadvam.
Adiye, adiyavihi, adiyamihi.
Adiye, adiyavihi, adiyamihi.
Let them fly. Diyatam, diyetam, diyantam.
Diyatam, diyetam, diyantam.
Diyasva, diyetam, diyadvam.
Diyasva, diyetam, diyadvam.
Diyai, diyavahai, diyamai.
Diyai, diyavahai, diyamai.
Dieta, diyatam, diyeran.
Dieta, diyatam, diyeran.
Dieta, diyatam, diyedvam.
Dieta, diyatam, diyedvam.
Diyeya, diyevihi, diyemihi.
Diyeva, diyevihi, diyemihi.
Now I think it's...
Daishyate.
Oh, daishyate. Oh, I'm glad. Thank you. I would have done differently. So, daishyate. Daishyate, daishyate, daishyante. Daishyate, daishyate, daishyadve. Daishe, daishyave, daishyamahe. Patrani diante. Wonderful. Thank you. So I think it is time for Shanta to do leaves.
Something.
Something, yeah. So we did yesterday feminine in long A and long E. And it is characteristic of feminine that there's actually more vocabulary in long E. So it's good we did both. But in masculine, there's a great deal in short A, in both in masculine and in neuter. So leaves have, everybody pronounce patram. Patram. So you can feel that you have a ra there. When you have a ra, you have the power to pull a dental na into cerebral na.
That's the other side.
So just as in the future, we pulled the dental sa to cerebral sha because of the E influence, here it is a ra influence that is changing. So this is written dental na, but we are going to pronounce cerebral na. And who can tell me the other two places the change happens? Yeah, no, that's the other producer of the change. Yeah, I didn't phrase my question carefully enough. In these endings, where else does it happen? Genitive plural. What else? You all know, you do this. Instrumental. Ena. Patrena. With the leaf. So Shanta will lead us in leaves.
But there is a rule that sometimes that action is blocked by four or by some
Yes.
words.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You've done your homework. Excellent. Yes.
No, this change of dental to cerebral, it is not freely everywhere. It has restrictions.
Antoine, book 1, page 15 is that rule. It's beautiful.
But for here, we are just thinking that neuter, so this is neuter endings where they are unique, and then we will jump over to this where they are the same as masculine. But good you bring up, there are conditions.
Good thing we're all chanting together, because if you make a mistake, there's no problem. Nobody will hear it. But I'll lead each line. Pardon? Patram patre patrani.
Patram
Patre patrani. The accusative is the same. Patram patre patrani.
Patram
Patre patrani. Patrena.
Patrena.
Patrabhyam.
Patrabhyam.
Patrai.
Patrai.
Patraya.
Patraya.
Patrabhyam.
Patrabhyam.
Patrebhyah.
Patrebhya.
Patrat.
Patrat.
Patrabhyam.
Patrabhyam.
Patrebhyah.
Patrebhya.
Patrasya.
Patrasya.
Patrayo.
Patrayo.
Patranam.
Patranam.
Patre.
Patre.
Patrayo.
Patrayo.
Patreshu.
Patreshu.
Patra. Patraha. Patra.
You have to go back to neuter side.
Oh, right. Sorry. Back to neuter, not forget that. We didn't do that. Patre.
Patra.
Patrani.
Patrani.
Big mistake. I will pay for that, I'm sure, later.
Well, I think the best payment is we should do another neuter noun.
Maybe later. One of my favorite stories about Guruji, we'd be meditating in the San Francisco ashram for an hour, 8 to 9 o'clock every day. And then he would say, let's take a break for tea. And we'd take a break for tea. And we knew that of the 30 or 20 people, 10 would not come back because they were allergic to Sanskrit. So Guruji would say, before we left for tea, make sure you take a copy of the alphabet and put it in your room so it will learn you.
We have one question here.
Yeah. Hold on, start over again, sir.
The change from to nasal N is not happening when the intervening letter is a dental or a cerebral or the so and some others. But here we have
Yes.
we have the dental T. So the change would not happen according to page 15.
No, what it is, sir, is you have to look at the order. So the ta comes...
it's not in between, sorry.
It's not in between, yeah, no, it's a good point.
I forgot.
Yeah, no, but you are bringing up a good thing because who blocks, who doesn't block. I actually prefer to do that rule in reverse. I prefer to think about what letters allow the change to happen.
Yeah.
Because the letters that allow the change to happen are gutturals and labials. And what makes up Om? Om, we start with a guttural and we end with a labial. So those are like, they give free passage to energy. It's little philosophy of Sandhi rules. Anyway.
So
Yeah, no. Compound consonants, yeah, they are easier to see in the English letters, but it's good point. So we can do also...
we need to do a masculine noun.
No, we got to do another neuter one.
Okay, which one?
Well, we could do pushpam, which also changes the vowel, or we could allow the audience to vote for a nice neuter noun.
What does pushpam mean? Flower. Good.
So, and pushpam is an example of where there the cerebral sha is producing the change, but it is not blocked because the pa, where do you pronounce pa?
Lip.
Lips. It's a labial letter, and the labial letters give full freedom.
Okay. I'll lead each line. Remember, when we get to vocative, we can't, not over here, we have to come back. Pushpam, pushpe, pushpani. Pushpam, pushpe, pushpani. Pushpam, pushpe, pushpani. Pushpam, pushpe, pushpani. So just feel that vibration in you. It's vibrating every cell, even though we might not feel it. Pushpena.
Pushpena.
Pushpabhyam.
Pushpabhyam.
Pushpai.
Pushpai.
Pushpaya.
Pushpaya.
So I'm keeping the long vowels really long because we go by long and short to make the pronunciation correct. And when you take a word and you spell it letter by letter, because Sanskrit's phonetic, you hear the proper pronunciation. It's a beautiful way, just go little step by little step. Pushpabhyam.
Pushpabhyam.
Pushpai.
Pushpai.
Pushpaya.
Pushpaya.
And you can make it as long as you want. Pushpabhyam. Pushpabhyam. Pushbe. A is long also. Pushbebhyah.
Pushpebhyah.
Oh, did I skip?
No, but those two are the same. So now we start with pushpa.
Pushpat.
Pushpat.
Pushpabhyam.
Pushpabhyam.
Pushbebhyah.
Pushpebhyah.
Pushpasya.
Pushpasya.
Pushpayo.
Pushpayo.
Pushpanam.
Pushpanam.
Pushpe.
Pushpe.
Pushpayo.
Pushpayo.
Pushpeshu.
Pushpeshu.
No. Pushpa.
Pushpa.
Pushpe.
Pushpe.
Pushpani.
Pushpani.
Let's sit. Let's feel that for a moment. It's not grammar. The rain is amazing. The rain came to bless us. Okay, masculine now, what should it be?
Well, I was favoring vriksha.
A little hard.
Okay. Then, all right, audience has to vote. Million.
Some easy to pronounce masculine noun. Parvata?
Parvata.
Okay, that's not too bad. Parvata.
Parvata.
Parvatau.
Parvatau.
Parvata.
Parvata.
Parvatam.
Parvatam.
Parvatau. Parvatan.
Parvatau.
Parvatan.
Parvatan.
Parvatena.
Parvatena.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatai.
Parvatai.
Parvataya.
Parvataya.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatebhyah.
Parvatebhyah.
Parvatat.
Parvatat.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatabhyam.
Parvatebhyah.
Parvatebhyah.
Parvatasya.
Parvatasya.
Parvatayo.
Parvatayo.
Parvatanam.
Parvatanam.
Parvate.
Parvate.
What does parvate mean if it's locative? No, this is locative. On the
On the
mountain.
mountain.
On the mountain or in the mountain. Something about location. Parvatayo.
Parvatayo.
Parvateshu.
Parvateshu.
What does parvateshu mean? In the many mountains. We're going mountain hiking today. We're going to go in all of the many mountains. Parvata, Parvatau, Parvata.
Parvata, Parvata, Parvata.
Let's feel that for a moment.
So we are going to be ending this program with 2 mantras. We have, I would say, just a little bit extra time. So I was thinking we could either do a little bit of sentences with chanting, or I think maybe the energy of the rain is such we should go back to the alphabet and just do a little bit of alphabet chanting, and then our closing verses. A, I, U, U.
A, I, U, U.
E, I, O, A.
E, I, O, A.
R, R.
R, R.
Lr, lr.
Lr, lr.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga.
Ka, ka, ga, ga, nga.
Ka, ga, ga, nga.
Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya.
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 Tongue curled back. Da, ta, da, da, na.
Ka, ka, da, da, na.
Da, ta, da, da, na.
Ka, ka, da, da, na.
Tongue right in front of teeth. Da, ta, da, da, na. 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 Ba, pa, ba, ba, ma.
Pa, pa, ba, pa, ma.
Ba, pa, ba, ba, ma.
Pa, pa, ba, pa, ma.
Yara lava, yara lava.
Yara lava, yara lava.
Yara lava, yara lava.
Yara lava, yara lava.
Shasha saha, shasha saha. Shashasaha, 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 Shashasaha. Kshatrajna, 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 Kshatrajna. Once again, I'm going to invite us to do the vowels, leaving with apologies to r and lr, just from a tuning point of view. Let us do these other vowels, these 2 lines, 5 times. A, I, U, U. A, I, O, Au, A. A, I, U, U. A, I, O, Au, A. 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 How about one time through the vowels with adding a ma on the end of each one? Like im, that way. Im, im, Aim, I'm, om, aum, 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 Once again, just feel. While we change over to be ready for our final 2 mantras, I'm going to invite Shantananda to pick another quote. Oh, question? Sorry?
No question.
Yeah.
And adding the and the very last one, aha, remains the same.
Yeah.
Why?
Okay, so...
Ask again,
yeah.
Cami.
In chanting the vowels with adding the at the end, and the very last one, aha,
the aha remains the same, it doesn't change the M.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, these, the and the are not strictly speaking themselves vowels. This is, the ma is representation of anuswara, that nasal that can go with the flow and change. And is visarga, which we know is that breathiness that comes at the end. So the true answer is that this is Shantananda making up some beautiful way to chant. And in order to keep the rhythm, we have to stick with the ah. So that is the whole thing. It is not perfectly symmetrical. But he is demonstrating that any vowel you take, you add a nasal, you can feel the mantric power a little differently.
And there is so much written on Visarga, Kemi, being the voice of the consonants, and interesting that it's placed at the end of the vowels, right before the consonants, and there's so much written on the subject. It's really interesting.
Thank you.
But it's like giving birth to the consonant group, the consonant population. Yeah.
But we are just playing with the chanting. I mean, Guruji did it with us all the time. He just chanted things different ways. And it was all washing machine of the mind. And that is the beginning and the end, is that speaking, my mind needs much washing.
You know what Guruji would say?
Oh, wait a sec. So we need...
Microphone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. This is good.
Oh, Guruji would say, when you're chanting, you can't think. So I think that's how it's the washing machine, because you go into a state where you're not thinking. And then when you chant and then you go into the silence, then you can really go further into that. You realize, oh, I'm not thinking, and now I can just relax
Yeah.
and not be thinking. So it's wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
And of course it is the Sanskrit vibration. It changes things. We had in our little outline for this morning, some things always get forgotten, but one of them, I'm glad Cami started with this. We had a place for questions for the remote people as well as people here. So I don't know if we actually have the technology intact for inviting remote people to ask a question. Harish, do we have?
Yeah, we do have.
Do we have any questions? And if not, while we are setting up, and Shanta is finding his next quote.
Yeah,
There
nothing
is-
so far.
Yeah, what's the question?
Can I make a humorous comment?
Totally, yes. Just you need to have the microphone.
I once wanted to explain to a friend of mine who is not really inclined into Sanskrit the conjugation of pat, patami, patasi, patati, and, because she's more inclined into American pop culture or of movies. She said, "Oh, tomato, potato, let's call the whole thing off," and I gave it up from that time on. Did you get it?
Different paths are for different people. Which actually, I was saying we had two final mantras. I completely forgot about this one, which I wanted to do because of the idea of a different path. I like stotras very much, and I wanted to make sure one of the great graces of 1973-ish or something like four. Guruji was having us do competition for memorizing Atma Bodha. So I was wanting to balance that we did not do only a few verses that were not devotional, at least on this last day. So let us, so power switch. Yeah, sorry about that. So this is from Guruji's Atma Bodha, and it is one of these texts that's been very interesting to live with over the years, because I pulled it out a few years ago and I realized that It was an amazing gift he gave us, because for many of us trying to be teachers in the world, trying to explain ideas of Vedanta, Atma Bodha has so many wonderful metaphors. This one I just like. It also goes nicely with the verse we did on the teacher, where we had the Antaspuranam, the I am that is eternally vibrating within and not recognized. So this verse is a little bit similar. Vyapriteshvindriyeshvatma
Vyapriteshvindriyeshvatma
Vyapari va vivekinam
Vyapari va vivekinam
Drishyate bhreshu dhavatsu
Drishyate dreshu dhavatsu
Dhavannivayata shashi
Dhavannivayata shashi
Together.
Vyapriteshvindriyeshvatma Vyapari va vivekinam Drishyate bhreshu dhavatsu Dhavannivayata shashi.
So this is a really nice verse on this altered perspective. So while the senses are engaged in activities, we feel like the self is engaged. Vyapari eva, having business that it is doing. Avivekinam, to those who do not understand. This has got a lot of sandhi to it. Let me see if I can take out a piece. The metaphor is just as the moon. Shashi means literally that which has a rabbit. It's one of many words for the moon. Just as the moon looks as if it is moving when the clouds are moving across it. So I've had that experience strongly once in my life, and I'm pretty sure it was at this ashram. I don't know what it takes, just the right distance between the moon and the clouds. And I looked up at the night sky, and it really looked like the moon was moving, not the clouds. And Sybil and I were talking last night. Nowadays, we get this illusion much more on a boat, especially a ferry boat. So I've been taking some classes off the coast of Seattle in the last few years, and one place I go, I ride a ferry boat for the first time in decades. And it's very easy when the ferry boat moves, starts to move, it looks like the land is moving away from you. And then you have to get out a little bit more in the water to realize, no, the boat's moving. And Sybil pointed out wonderfully that it's even more so when two boats are next to each other. You don't know whether your boat is moving or the other person's boat is mobile. But I like this one because we are all identified with our body, mind, and senses. And any metaphor that makes it a little bit easier to look at it a different way, I think is helpful. So this is sandhi, avivekinam, to those who do not have full discrimination. They think they are the ones that are active. They are the ones that are engaged in activity. But the moon's not going anywhere. It's the clouds moving. And our true nature of the self is not doing all of that movement. So it can go back also in my mind to that quote I did a couple days ago where Guruji said, "It is better to be the Empire State Building than a little shack, but it is important to remember you are not a building." So we all have days where our mind is more tranquil and days where it is absolutely out of order. But the reality is that we are not that mind. We try to keep it in good order. That's part of the path. But that real self is within us all, not changing. So this is one of my favorite verses, but it is also an offering and a reminder that the path of jnana is very strong. And whatever pulls you, the washing machine of the mind works. There's fantastic verses on philosophy that has nothing to do with devotion. I pick out the devotion ones a little bit more because it is to my taste. But these are fantastic.
Remind us where this is from.
Oh, Guruji's book, Self-Analysis and Self-Knowledge. It's a wonderful book. Oh, this is 18, I think. Yeah. The other one, which we didn't have time for, I recommend everybody number 23. Another one of my favorites. And we had for program the end of this a couple days ago. So now we have 2 verses and closing, and thank you all for making this program happen. So how do you approach learning of Sanskrit? And that's this next verse. Twam?
Mm-hmm. Why don't we chant it ourselves and then I'll lead it.
Okay.
Om. I think we can all do it. It's broken up very well. Let's do it together.
It's Gita meter.
Huh?
Gita meter, you should lead first.
Okay. Jalabindu nipatena. Jalabindu nipatena. Kramasha puryate gata. Kramasha puryate gata. Sahetu sarva vidyanam. Sahetu sarva vidyanam. Dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. Dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. Let's do it together. Jalabindu nipatena. Kramasha puryate gata. Sahetu sarva vidyanam. Dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. Dharmasya cha dhanasya cha. So jala is water, one of the many words for water. Bindu is dot or drop. So here, drops of water. Nipatena, from the verb pat, to fall. So the fall, with its instrumental case, with the falling drops of water, like you have a sink that's dripping underneath the pipe is leaking. So you put a pot underneath it to catch the water so it doesn't go all over the floor. That's what this is all about. So slowly, kramasha, slowly, step by step. Puryate, we all know pour, the sense of pour is to fill. Purnima. Puryate gata. Gata is vessel, jar. So slowly but surely, with the drops of water falling, the vessel becomes filled up. And I use this all the time with our students. It's so important. It's such an important verse. Because in the world, we're moving so fast. You're told to go to school, get good grades, do it fast, get a good job, make more money, do it all fast. This verse just says slow down and feel where you're going. The second line, sahetu, likewise, the cause, hetu, very famous word, sarva, all, vidyanam, of all the knowledge, dharmasya, of the dharma. You can translate that any way you want, of the work that you're supposed to do. and cha and dhanasya, of your wealth or of your money, however you want to translate that. So your knowledge, your dharma, your wealth, this should also be figured out and come very slowly, because otherwise you will not appreciate what you have. It's my feeling about the translation of this. So let's do it one more. What?
Oh, I'm just going to give a different slant on the
Yeah,
translation.
please.
But that's the thing also to remember about all the verses we have done. Poetry, any form of art, what counts is what you feel, not what anyone else tells you. You have to do your own inner translation. So slowly is one thing, but I also like about this the inevitability, that you think, oh, you can't get anything done because you don't have time. You take a little piece, and the little pieces add up. So the sink one, it's possible there are people in this room that have never had the grace to live with leaky plumbing. But those of us who have lived with leaky plumbing, you go to bed, you put this bucket underneath your sink, and you think, okay, I will have to change the bucket in a day or two.
And you pray that it doesn't overflow overnight.
No, but you don't have the sense at first to pray. When I was younger, I didn't. I thought, okay, this bucket's good for a day or two. Look how slowly the drops are falling. And then you get up in the morning and you think, oh, I have to very carefully pick up this bucket because it's about to overflow. So that is approach for anything you can take, that these falling of drops of water are very powerful. So,
In German, we have a saying.
oh yeah, if we can give him the microphone again.
It's very easy to translate because it's almost the same words in German. Steter Tropfen höhlt den Stein. Steady drop, höhlt is to hole out or something. Den Stein, the stone. And it's often used. Steter Tropfen höhlt den Stein. Very similar. And it's often used for the slowness, and that's really
So
very, very powerful.
Translate it again from the German.
Steter means steady, mehrmals. Tropfen is a drop.
Uh-huh.
Höhlt, that's I don't really know. Höhlt with the holing out. And den Stein is an accusative, the stone.
Oh,
Steter Tropfen höhlt den
that's
Stein.
wonderful. So that is water hollowing stone. That's even stronger. Okay.
In Russian, same phrase. We use the Russian absolutely same.
Okay. So give her the mic, if you will.
You want me to say in
Say it
Russian?
again because people streaming in cannot
I'm
hear. Yeah.
saying that meaning absolutely same we use in Russian. Each капля точит камень.
It is also in Spanish, gotita, gotita, se llena el vaso. But I have to say, I like the stone one because we think that stone is not changing.
Here.
And that's even stronger.
I just find the saying, because I am German, and I think you probably are too, I always considered steady drop hollows the stone is more on the not doing something and avoiding something and letting damage happen that way. So it's more, I had it always more on the negative side than on the learning forward side. So it's interpretation, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and powerful both ways. But I think it's too easy to say, I don't have time to do something. One of the great gifts Dr. Sharma gave me, that he taught me so many things, but he gave the quote, the greatest enemy of good is perfection. So we think we're not going to do something perfectly. We're not going to be the world's greatest scholar. We're not going to be the best teacher. So then we don't move forward. That's another way of looking.
So 2 quotes to finish? Yeah?
Well, we have to do one guru mantra. That's the only other thing.
Okay. Hurry up.
Well, you do a quote, and I will put this in bold.
They're two very small. I'll do them after you're done.
Okay? So, we all are familiar with that you can make the Guru. It can be the Guru inside you. It can be our Guru, Shri Bhrahmananda Sarasvati. But what is the nature of this teaching force? It is the first. It is beyond beginning. It is the supreme deity. There is nothing higher than the Guru. Salutations to that Guru. Guru Radhiranadishcha
Guru Radhiranadishcha
Guru Paramadaivatam
Guru Paramadaivatam
Guru Parataram Nasti
Guru Parataram Nasti
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah
Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah.
Together.
Guru Radhiranadishcha Guru Paramadaivatam Guru Parataram Nasti Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om. So 2 quotes to finish. Anahata, this is from Fundamentals of Yoga. Anahata Nadam is the manifestation of the Supreme into perceptual mechanism. When you have real nadam, meditate constantly on it. When all impurities of your mind are removed by meditating on Om, you will forget your physical, subtle, and causal bodies, and you will identify yourself with that eternal self, which is one without a second. Practice it secretly. It will produce conviction at once. Ultimately, it will transform you into the nirvana state. And finally, something that Guruji inscribed in this book to us, 1971, must be to you.
Yeah,
The mind is like a parachute, which operates when it's open.
one moment silence. Om.
Om.
Sit and feel the blessing of this space. Feel the blessing of the ashram space around you. Feel the blessing of the inner space within you that is always available, waiting for you to tune in. Tvameva mata
Japita Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Jasaka Tvameva Tvameva Sadya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Indira and I would like to thank all of you for your support in this effort, especially Harish, who has lost sleep over learning this in a very short time. I think he maybe got to bed at midnight, Wednesday night, one of those first nights. And then we were looking for him the next morning and we couldn't find him because he was sleeping in. He needed the rest. But he's been a trooper. And thank you so much. We all need to really support the ashram in any way you're able. This language cannot be lost. We must give every effort to propel it into the future. Thank you so much.
And thank also everybody who keeps this ashram going. Everybody who cleans the rooms, everybody who cooks the food, everybody who mows the lawn. We are just so grateful to be able to come back here. And particular thanks to Sanskrit program here that they keep being inspiration to us. Namo Namah.